Hey everybody, this is Tony with Class Eagles. I hope you're having a great day. If you attend a youth soccer practice or a youth game, something you'll hear the kids saying a lot to each other on the field very consistently is things like "I'm sorry," "My bad," or seeing them hold the hand up and hanging their head, a little bit of acknowledgement that they made a mistake. This is something players do all the time. We often kind of ask players to communicate on the field, and you know they tend to more often than not communicate their apology more than anything else on the field. And again, after any mistake, whether it's a missed shot, a giveaway, you'll hear players apologize to their teammates. And like a lot of coaches, this is something I try to work on players to help them break this habit to do, because it's a habit, it's an instinct. As a mistake is made, you feel you need to apologize. But during a game and in practice, when that happens, a player is really not doing really what they need to do in that moment. After a mistake is made, the most important thing a player needs to do is work hard to try to fix the mistake. And that might not be, losing the ball and going to get it back, but as soon as, a ball is lost, what is the response of that player? What do they need to do? Not just to help their team out. For example, if they did lose the ball, do they immediately recover and get back in a good defensive position to help their team defend and win the ball back? That's a great response. But outside of the action is also the mentality of it. Is that when a player makes a mistake, I want them to very quickly move on from that mistake and not spend any time thinking about it or dwelling on it. They'll learn from it from the course of playing the game, but if they stop at all and think about what just happened, or kind of keep playing the mistake in their head, they're taking themselves out of the game. And for their team and their teammates, the most important thing at that moment for that player to do is not take themselves out of the game. They need that player to get themselves right back in the game and continue to play. So that's why something you hear coaches often a lot talk to players about not saying "my bad" or apologizing, after a mistake is made. And that's the reason why. It's not about not being sorry or anything like that. We all know, nobody intends to make a mistake when they step on the field. But it's about that when a mistake is made, is we want the reaction, just like anything else in life. When something happens we don't want to do, that moment right after the mistake is critical, is how we respond to it. Do we just feel bad, or do we try to fix it and correct it right away? And on the soccer field, it's no different. When players play in a way that when a mistake is made, they immediately respond with trying to fix it, that is a high-level player. And that's a fun player to play with, if that player's on your team, because they never kind of take themselves out of the game. They never let themselves dwell on what just happened. They're always thinking about what's next and trying to do whatever they can to help the team now. And that's what's most important. The other side of that is that as a player, you have to know that you're never going to play a game that's going to be mistake-free. It's never going to happen. No matter how good you get, no matter what level you play at, you're going to make mistakes. So the most important thing, and again, the highest level players do this, understand, is that at the moment a mistake is made, how do you respond? Do you respond in a positive way, trying to help the team out, getting right back in the game and continue to play, or do you stop and apologize and dwell on your mistake? Okay, because when you do that, for a lot of players, that's going to cause the next mistake, which is then going to cause the next mistake. And those are those games where it just feels like you can do nothing right, because after that first error, you kind of spiraled down and just kind of made mistake after mistake, because that's all you kind of thought about, and your confidence just got cut out from underneath you. So as coaches, this is why we talk with players so much about, when a mistake is made, not to apologize, not to stop, just to keep playing, because that is the best thing you can do in that moment. Nobody expects anyone to be perfect on the field. That would be an absurd expectation for any coach to have on their players. So as a player, you have to understand that nobody's watching you expecting you not to make a mistake. In fact, everyone's watching you knowing that there's a good chance you could make a mistake. And what we want to see is how you respond. And that's the most important thing always. When you're on the soccer field or off, is when a mistake is made, what do you do in that moment? Again, apologies is okay, it's nice, but it's not the most important thing. In the middle of a match, if you're on my team and a mistake is made, I don't need you to apologize to me, because there's nothing to apologize for. But what I do need is for you to immediately work hard, get back, and do what's necessary to continue to help the team continue to play and compete. That's the most important thing. So when you hear players on the field apologizing all the time when mistakes are made, try to help them, correct them from doing that, and let them know that's not necessary. A lot of times it's a confidence thing. They're afraid, their teammates aren't going to like them or the coach is going to be upset with them. By apologizing, hopefully it makes it better. But in reality, that's not what needs to happen. So that's something that players have to learn. Again, not just for the field, but for, in all areas of their life that, a mistake is made. We understand you're sorry. It's something that you didn't intend to do. But what's most important is your next action.